just showed up. An unrecognizable vehicle just drove down the road. I'm giving them just a minute to see what's gonna happen if they come right back. I have not seen them come back and it's been long enough. So I checked the camera. I've got footage. They are parked down there and we're gonna ride down and we're gonna confront them. We've got trespassers, we've got issues, we've got people poaching, hunting on our land, throwing out trash, we've got a total disaster. I've got cameras everywhere on the farm, but these two places, and today we're gonna show you guys how I build a home and farm security pod for your farm. It's gonna be a pretty good time and we're gonna try and catch these people coming back here and parking tonight. It's the weekend, and when it's the weekend, people like to party, and that's what they're doing. They're coming down here either hunting on the far side of the farm or partying right here, throwing out trash and all sorts of stuff. So let's get busy today. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna show you guys the most awesome off-grid security camera system that I've ever used. All right guys, welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm. If this is your first time or your 50 millionth time here, please hit that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel, and hit that little bell down there. It'll notify you when I post a new video. Because what good would being subscribed be if you didn't know when I posted a new video? So today's video is sponsored in part by Reolink, okay? Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's another sponsored commercial. It's not a commercial. This is me protecting my property, my farm, and Reolink just happened to reach out to me. We did a video about 6 months ago installing Reolink cameras in 3 other spots on the farm, and I reached back out to them so we could get you guys a coupon code. So it's all about saving you a few bucks here and showing you how all this works, because I had a lot of questions with that video. All that aside, what we've got is folks coming down here, they're parking, they're throwing out trash. You'll see a little bit of footage of me picking up all this trash. There was a mess right here. They're backing in, parking, smoking cigarettes, throwing them out, doing what, who knows what, I don't even know what. And then they were hunting over on the other side of the farm here. So we've got about 25 acres back in here, and they're back there hunting. The whole farm is about 150 acres, and this will be my 4th and 5th Reolink cameras. I pay for these out of my pocket by myself every month. It's 10 bucks a month. It's totally worth it. So it'll be $50 a month for security on the farm. I think it's absolutely worth it. These cameras require no maintenance whatsoever. All you do, you get an alert whenever anything moves. So without further ado, this is the Reolink camera, okay? We're gonna unbox one. We're gonna show you exactly how it works. This one is ready to rock and roll. Aside from not having the mounting hardware up, I've got 3 different types of cameras here, and we're gonna be installing 2 because, first of all, it's another 20 bucks a month of bills. And I know a lot of folks live on a fixed income, but if you've got a large property like this and you can't afford 50 bucks a month to take care of it, I think it's totally worth it. I think in the long run, it'll save me this in fuel, because I can check my cattle, everything. I can check my deer cams. I don't have to have deer cams anymore. These are deer cams, okay? Now, a lot of folks want to, I guess, live the life of a hidden camera. I don't want this to be a hidden camera. Deer don't care, okay? People do care. And if people see a camera, they're not gonna pull here and they're not gonna park here if they know it's there. So I don't care that they see it. If you wanted to, you could tape out the lens and you could hit this with a little green paint, a little camo paint, and you could camouflage it. It would totally work. I've seen videos on YouTube where people do that. So that's one option for you if you want to make this camera invisible. We're not making them invisible today. So tell me what you think. Tell me what you most to comment down there. Do you think they should be invisible camera, or do you think they should be totally visible? I want them to know, don't come here, don't do this. There's a camera right there looking at you, okay? Now, If they do show up tonight, which it's the weekend, we're gonna bust them. We're gonna catch them on camera. Now I'm gonna try to run over here and see if I can catch them on my motorcycle. So here's what comes in the box. We'll just open one of these boxes up. This is good for if you own any business or if you have any property that is away from your home. This runs on the T-Mobile cellular network. That's the only cellular network that I have figured out how to use. They say it'll run on Verizon. I haven't figured out how to get it on Verizon, but this is a $10 a month prepaid camera SIM card. So when you go into T-Mobile, ask them for a camera SIM card and get the 2 GB data card. That is 10 bucks a month, dirt cheap in my opinion. The card costs 10 bucks and then you pay for the first 10 bucks. So it's $20 coming out the door. These cameras are somewhere in the $300 range. Again, there'll be a coupon code down the video description down there if you guys want to get one for yourself. I don't care if you get one. This is what I'm using on my place, and I sure would like to pass on some savings to you guys. So this is the mount, okay? This mounts up the camera. This is the antenna. And this is the camera. I've already taken this camera out of the box and I've labeled it, because when you get a prepaid SIM card, and if you want, you can skip ahead to the install if you'd like. I'll post chapters, but I want to tell you everything you need to know. So when you get a prepaid SIM card, and I've got one in my pocket right here, it comes with this little deal right here, and you pop out the little nano SIM card from T-Mobile. T-Mobile isn't sponsoring this, and you've got a phone number associated with that card. So I put the last 3 of the phone number on the camera that coincides with that SIM card, okay? These are a throwaway item eventually, and if the camera goes bad after 3 or 4 years, you can open it up and you can put new batteries in it, or you could just replace it. I would say odds are this camera's probably gonna last 3, 4, 5 years, something like that, and that'll be the lifespan of the battery. It has a battery backup in there. It is 23.4 watt hours, 5 volt or 9 volt charging. So you can charge it with a charging port right here. Okay, open that guy up. It takes a micro USB charging port. We don't need a charging port. This is what makes it an all-encompassing system. You have a mount right here, and you have this solar panel. So the other Reolink cameras, and before I bought more cameras, I wanted to make sure that they would hold charge. The other Reolink cameras stay fully charged with this solar panel right here. And this isn't a camera that's gonna stay on 24/7. You're gonna get an alert and you're gonna look at your camera, or you're gonna go back through your data. If you have something that comes up missing or something looks suspect, you can go back through your data. It's all stored on the camera, and you can access any and all clips, and it'll hold like 400 clips. It'll hold a lot of clips. It'll do 1080p and 720p, pan, tilt, and zoom, which is important. PTZ. So I've got 2 different types of cameras. Again, pan, tilt, and zoom. This thing rotates around. We're gonna do it. We're gonna play with it here in a second in front of you, and then we're gonna hang it up in the tree. The other camera that I have, and this is one that I'm actually gonna be handing off to my neighbor. Reolink did send this camera to me, and my neighbor loves me for sure. So this has a motion detector on it, but it's not the pan, tilt, zoom. It is a stationary camera. If you've got one door you want to keep an eye on, or one driveway you want to keep an eye on, this might be the critter for you. It also has a solar panel. It is totally self-contained. If you had to recharge these, I'm told that they'll last about a month before you have to recharge them. So let's show you how everything assembles really quickly. So inside the box, your camera comes with a little strap like this, and you don't need to do exactly what I'm doing. You can use the strap setup. Let me show you how that works. The mount itself has a slot in the back, and you can just slide your strap right through that slot, and you can wrap this around the tree or whatever post or whatever it is that you want to mount it to. You can mount this thing to anything. So that will hold the camera. I'll show you how it screws on there real quick. That will be the setup, okay? Along with the solar panel. We're gonna use this right here, but we're not gonna use the strap. We're gonna build security pods. So these things can be permanently affixed to a board this board right here, and this is rough cut lumber off of the sawmill. It can be permanently affixed to the board, and what we'll do is put 2 screws in it, and if ever we need to move it, if we find that another spot might be a better spot for the camera, all we got to do is pop off 2 screws, move the entire security pod over to wherever it is. So it's a totally modular system the way I'm showing you right here. Maybe Reolink will take a note from this and build something exactly like this. I don't know, but it's cheap enough to get an old board and do this. You can get a pressure treated board and just stick it on a tree, and what we're going to be doing is sticking it on this tree right here. Okay, so I've got a ladder already up there. That is a maple, and a great big maple at that. So I'll take my camera system here, my camera mount, and I'll take my mount for my solar panel, and the solar panel mount's very similar to the other mount. We'll straighten this guy up, screw it down. You can rotate this in any manner you'd like to rotate it, and the solar panel will mount up just like so. Screw that guy in, loosen this up just a little bit, and there we go. So what I do and what I've done in the past is put the solar panel just above the camera so it helps to shed water off of and away from the camera. Okay, so this will be mounted to the board right along with the security camera and the mount. Before I show you exactly how to mount it up, we're going to learn together exactly what you need to do in order to install this camera. So you take your finger and you roll this guy back, and there's a little access panel right in there. Okay, I'm going to open that access panel up right there. It's a watertight-ish access panel, and these things do great in the rain, snow, whatever. So far they have been absolutely awesome. I'll pop out my little T-Mobile, and again, I'm not an advocate for T-Mobile. It's just the only carrier I have seen that works. So make sure T-Mobile works in your area. So this has a slot right there. It says nano SIM card, so we'll put that nano SIM card in, and this is the data. Okay, this is the data card. It's gonna take it just a second to find the network. Okay, so we'll slide that guy in. You'll need either a little screwdriver or a pocket knife like I have here to press this guy in all the way, just like a camera, any camera. We'll take the little rubber piece, slip it back over there. There's also a data card inside here which holds all your recordings. Way cool. You can pay for cloud service, but I don't pay for cloud service. It's in there. I've got them all mounted on trees, and I put them far up in the tree enough that nobody can really tamper with this. They could probably shoot it down, but if they shot it down, I just have a video of the idiot that shot it down. So somebody could steal this. Somebody can steal anything. So nothing is theft proof. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the antenna here, and this is the antenna that captures a cellular data network. Okay, just finger tight. Then we've got another cover right here. We'll slip this back, we'll turn the switch on. You're going to hear it talk. It's going to start talking to me. So it's on. We get a couple lights. See that red light right there? I think the blue light comes on once we are connected to cellular network, and it will say connected. So let's wait for a second. Blue light's on, red light's on. It's connecting.
Network connection succeeded.
Bam. Just that easy, guys. 10 bucks a month, 10 bucks per camera. It's not 10 bucks for 50 cameras. This is not, it's not that cheap, okay? I wish it was that cheap. I wish I could run 50 cameras on $10 a month, but that ain't gonna work, guys. It just ain't gonna work. This also works for those game cams. So if you do go in, I say game cams, like the cameras you would use for tracking wildlife or something like that if you're a hunter. If you're not a hunter, you may not even know about those, but there are Wi-Fi and or SIM card cameras that you can use to track your wild game if you're a hunter. So very cool. These can be used again as game cameras, so they're a multi-use type camera. All right, the way this works, and we're gonna hook to it on the app on my phone. Got my phone right here. I'll show you guys exactly what it's going to look like before we hang it, and exactly what you need to do to connect it. So the app is here. I'm going to hit the plus button. It prompts me to scan a QR code. There's a QR code on the bottom right here. I'll scan that QR code. Okay. Now, connecting your device. It'll connect up. Create a password. You got to create a password for everything. I've entered my password. It's activating the camera. Name your device. I'm gonna put North Pasture. And this is great for keeping an eye on your cattle. If you've got livestock, man, what a super thing to have. So if you hear the cows mooing up in the field and you're like, what's going on up there? You can camera in and check on your animals. That's really, really cool. Initialization finished. QR code's here. The device has been added. North pasture right here. And we are in high fidelity 1080p. This is the camera. That is the view. It's that quick. There may be a 1 or 2 second latency on the camera, okay? Now I want to show you how it pan, tilts, and zooms real quick. So you tap the button to move it, and then there's a little knob right here, and we'll show you how that knob works. I'm gonna put this camera down a little closer so you can see it moving around. So with my camera, I'm gonna go ahead and move this. Less than a second of latency right there, guys. It's right on the cellular network, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about power. This works without the power being on. It works all the time without any issue whatsoever. Now let me show you how I build the security pods right here. This is white oak. It will last for years and years and years. Use a pressure treated board or something like that if you guys can. White oak will last me long enough. It'll last as long as the camera lasts for sure. So we'll go ahead and get this critter on here. Now your Reolink camera will send you an alert whenever anything moves. So when I set this thing up here tonight and I point it right down here at the road, it will alert me anytime anything moves. And you can set that up in your phone on the app. Super, super, super simple. Okay, we'll flip this guy over and go ahead and get started building our security pod. First things first, I'm just using a drill bit right here, and I'm going to drill my first 2 holes. And these are the holes that I'll use to mount this camera to the tree. Okay, and I'm in my old Dodge truck here. I don't care if I hit the tailgate. Good deal. I'm using 2 extra long deck screws. You can use whatever you want to use. I recommend an exterior screw. We'll go ahead and set those in that hole, just like so. And we'll get it started. That way when we go up the tree, everything's set up and ready to rock and roll. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to install our camera. So we'll go ahead and we'll pre-drill these holes right here. I'm just going to mark them real quick. Like so, then I'll pre-drill that. Here's our solar panel, okay? Here is our camera mount. We want to mount our camera mount right in the center, down a little bit lower, and this has a little rubber seal on it right here that goes into the camera. We also want to make sure that we save this little twisty tie right here, or we bring a zip tie with us because this is an extremely long cord. So if you put this in a tree somewhere in a shady spot, you got a lot of cord right there. So we're going to run this mount. It goes right down through that notch right there. So we're going to run that in, and there we have enough notch for the camera. And then we'll go ahead and put our deck screws in right here too. We're going to use exterior deck screws, shorter ones. Now my camera will mount right up into here. Screw my camera on. Antenna can be up, can be down, it doesn't matter. I prefer the antenna up if I can possibly make that happen. Also, before you get into your final position, you've got to pop this little tab on the end right here and plug in. This is a micro SD. So you need enough slack, and slide the little rubber piece right in there to protect it from the elements. Rotate it around. We're almost done. Camera's mounted. Our security pod is almost completely done here. All right, next thing we're going to do, this has 3 screw holes in it, okay? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to stick that up basically almost right above where the camera is, okay? A little bit off to the side. We possibly can make that happen. You want it above the camera's line of sight because this has night vision in it, and the night vision will reflect off of the bottom of this right here, okay? If you don't want that to happen, if you do have a problem, you can always paint the back of it black. We'll go ahead and mount up our solar panel. Snug this guy down. And ideally, you want the solar panel to be facing to the south, okay? But we're up in a tree here, so we're really not worried about it. We just want to face it almost upright. That is the security pod. Ready to go, ready to install. I'll actually angle this solar panel up just like that. This is the security pod. There's your solar panel, that's your power source. It's it, that's it. It's totally self-contained, it's ready to rock and roll, and we're gonna take it and put it up the tree. There it is. Awesome. That's it, it's up. 2 seconds to install that thing. It's right up there. It's modular. I can move it anywhere I want to. So if I want to put it in a tree way up here in the top of the field, I can put it in a tree way up on the top of the field. That's it. I'm going to build one more security pod and I'm going to take it over on the other side of the farm. We'll get you some B-roll footage of installing that. Stick around to the end. We're gonna see if we can catch these guys either tonight or tomorrow night. So I don't know if they'll be back out here or not. The trash is up, all the mess is cleaned up, everything's good to go. Maybe they figured out, got the message, and they're not gonna come back. Maybe they'll be back this weekend to party it up some more right here on my beautiful country road. We'll see, so stick around to the end. I'm gonna get you some B-roll. I'm just gonna assemble the next one and we'll take it over on the other side of the farm. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me today. Please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. That's how the Reolink camera works. It's $10 a month. Go into T-Mobile, tell them you want a security camera or game camera SIM card. You want the 2 gigabytes of data. That 2 gigabytes of data is plenty for you for the month, okay? You can call them, you get it on auto renew, and it costs me 50 bucks a month for security around the entire farm. Super handy, peace of mind, and evidence. If something comes up missing, all the traffic that comes in and out of my farm is monitored and recorded. It's evidence. You'll know who broke in your house. If they break in your house, you'll know who stole what and where they came from, what kind of vehicle they drove. And with the 1080p, you can just about zoom right in on their license plate or potentially their face. Awesome, guys. We'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. Please post a comment down there. Tell me what you think. Tell me about the camera systems that you already use. I love these. I've got Arlo systems in the house. I've got Reolink systems all over the farm. Super handy. There's a coupon code down there for you in the video description. A big thanks to Reolink for helping support rural content and also helping support your home and or farm security. Awesome, guys. See you next time on the Stoney Ridge. Woo! Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo! There's no way I can ride this thing. I'm about to put this in my pocket. Sorry guys, I got a camera up under my arms. There they are. Excuse me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa. What in the world, dude? Folks, what you're seeing here is me stopping this little chase because it just got too dusty and I realized I was in a dangerous and compromised position. I don't recommend chasing anybody like this. I would not do it again if I had to. I've got the evidence that I need to turn into law enforcement in order to stop this problem. So please be safe, be smart, and what I did here was probably not the smartest thing. However, the adrenaline was pumping and I wanted to find out who it was. I didn't anticipate that speeding off and throwing gravel and all that mess. So guys, be safe. I'm okay. And the appropriate authorities have been notified.